party, and we have the honor to say goodbye to 4 members. And their name is Lu Chi Yao, Eric, Chao Jung Chai Julie, Lalba Oima or Lal, and Sagurama Ezono. We can start with some opening remarks and the introduction of our students. First of all, my name is Thanasis. I'm a third-year HVP student, and today I will present with Akari. And should we start with some greetings? Ire Sensei, please.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. なんか切れてる。これ難しいな。まあいいや。So actually we cannot have the on-site party, unfortunately. But I hope that you enjoyed this online graduation party. But Thanasis, how we get the drink? Everybody prepare the drink. Congratulations on the graduations and okay, cheers.
Cheers.
Yes. Congratulations.
Congratulations. おめでとうございます。
おめでとうございます。
Perfect, perfect. I think we had a nice opening, so let's get a little bit nostalgic. And I want to present a movie made by the graduation party committee, and special thanks to Godo-san. She stitched together the video, and those are the memories from our graduates.
How do you get the photos? How can you collect them? Thank you.
Oh, a lot of other people. Yes. Oh, nice baby campaign.
Wow, handsome.
Oh, alumni. This would be alumni.
I know where it is.
Yeah. Perfect. So that one was a small taste of their memories and generally HVP life can offer us. And we see a great bonding, campings and drinkings, barbecuings together, not only science, but also good social life. So let me introduce one more time again, person in person, the graduates. We have the pleasure to have 3 graduates from Professor Yu Hayashi lab, and 1 from Professor Hiromi Yanagisawa. So from Professor Yu Hayashi, we have Liu Chi Yao here, Xiao Chung Chai,
Okay, it's close.
close enough, Julie here, and Sagurama Ezono, that she is joining us online. Yes, she is online. Sagura, say hi if you can.
Hi.
Perfect. And last but not least, hey, and Lalba Oima from Professor Hiromi Yanagisawa. Hello. Okay, so now let's start with their presentations. Our graduate present 4 different presentation of 4 different aspects from HBP program.
So hello everyone. I think you might be able to see my shared screen from here. So yeah, thank you the SBP graduation alumni committee for making this online Zoom party. We are really grateful for it. So they gave me this topic. The title of the topic is networking to talk about this during my SBP life. So I will start with my presentations. So yeah, I think we have a lot of networking in SBP. Starting from the time when the SBP started, we usually held like a welcome party or like a farewell party or some like Christmas party or something like that, where all the students join together and we exchange our views and our life. So not only networking in SBP, but I think there is a very importance of networking in science. So this is like illustrations that I took from like a journal science. So like many researchers like also talks about this importance of networking in science. How like those researchers who are introvert, they also need to talk about their research, talk about their life, like when going to a conference and all that. So I think when we first started like this kind of networking, I think it's kind of a hard, but gradually we kind of learn the process of networking. So I would like to share my journey of how I started to learn about the networking, and also how currently I'm learning now. So like if we go by the definitions like that is given by people who are in this field, they say that networking is the exchange of informations or services among individuals, groups, or institutions. Specifically, it's the cultivations of productive relationships for employment or business. So yeah, this kind of definitions I think is very confusing. So in simple term, like we can say networking is kind of in my opinion, it's kind of a genuine conversations about our interests and also those of the other persons, and how we or they might benefit from each other. So so this is like what we consider as networking. So there are like different like venues when I consider networking like in SBP. I think it might be different from people to people, but when I think about networking like venues, to me, in our SBP program, we already have the business leader seminar where we invite like a leading business people and like a startup company and all those things, and we invite them and like we listen to their talks. And also we also have the like a world science leader like a seminar. Similarly, this is like related to the researchers who are working and they share their research. And also, not only this, in our laboratory and some institute, like in IIIS or in Tara Center, we have the invited speakers that are organized by the laboratory. So I think this is like a very good opportunities for us to listen and to talk with leading researcher. And also in the appropriate technology class, also we have many invited like a speaker from resource persons, and we discuss and we try to form kind of a network and learn from each other. And also we have the summer school in our university where many students and others they joins. And other than that, now this is like a time for digital age. So people use social media like LinkedIn or ResearchGate or Twitter, for networking purposes. But to me, or for me, I found that the internships or the conferences, that is, these tools were the most productive for networking. So in the case of the conferences, the small and the specific field like Gordon Research Conference or Cold Spring Harbor Laboratory meetings were kind of very beneficial for me to learn or to start my networking process. So like we are researchers and we are doing research, so people might want to know, is there a protocols for networking? I guess there is not the things that would be called as a networking protocols, but I just made it like my own, how I did it or how I learned from others who did the networking. So this is not applicable to all. People might change according to their preferences. So I think before doing networking, we do need to do some homework ahead of joining a meeting or joining a seminar by looking over the list of the speakers and participants and to look what they have already done before and then what they might be presenting. And also another thing is like when we are joining the conferences or the meeting, I think it was good for me if I go with my mentor or PI. So like when we are having a difficult time introducing ourselves to big people, like our PI or our mentor were helping us, introducing us to them. And also mailing or reaching out to people that we want to talk with, for a lunch or dinner. Is also like people say it's kind of helpful, but to me, I was not quite successful. So yeah, very few people did reply. And also, we can use of the coffee break, lunch, dinner, or social time to introduce ourselves during those seminar or conferences to make use of this networking process. And the last thing after the networking process that is quite that was quite helpful or that is quite important is, so we need to get their contact details and follow up. So after introducing ourselves to them, I think we need to follow up with them. And also we need to send them an email or a shout out in the social media or something like that. And, detailing how, I kind of, get the motivations or encouraged by his or her research. And also, introducing in details, how we met and where we met, because I think many of the people are really bad in remembering names. So yeah, this is kind of my protocols for networking. So I would like to go through a bit how I started my networking. So I think nobody is born with a talent of networking. So my first truce with this networking comes when I joined this summer school in Edinburgh. Our SBP students, we went through the SBP grant to this summer school in Edinburgh. So Takahashi sensei kindly took us, and then it was at that time that I learned how to do networking, talk with the people. So that was in our first year of SBP. And in that summer school, I got to meet Dr. Tilo, who was also one of the organizers of this summer school. He was also working in one of the research that was quite interesting. So we discussed a lot about Parkinson models and all those things, like using stem cells and all. So I also got quite interested in him, after coming back to Tsukuba, I exchanged emails and all those things. And later on, Dr. Tilo becomes my overseas reviewer for the SBP. So this was my a first step for networking. And another thing is the most important thing, or I think thing that the young students or young researchers need to understand first is we should first learn how to listen. So this guy is Dr. Francois Guillemot. So he is the director of MRC, researching about neural stem cells. So what I like about this is one from Cold Spring Harbor meeting that I joined about stem cells. And what I like about this meeting is they organize a lunch or a dinner, where we can choose where we want to sit with all the invited speakers or the participants. So we were given sit with all these people. So at this time, the big people where we are afraid to talk to, or where we don't have a chance to come up and talk to, we got a chance to sit down with them, talk with them, and listen, to all their advice and ask them questions. And also, if we learn to listen, then I think we might be able to find people who are, willing to listen to us. So in that, like a meeting, I also go to, talk about my research, about my plan, what I want to do, and all those things. So this is a kind of a give and take. Networking is kind of a give and take. It's not only pushing our agenda. It's not only pushing their agenda. We have to, have a kind of a mutual benefit. So this is like a kind of things that I learned when I was attending the conferences or the meetings. And also, as I told you, that traveling with mentors or the PI is kind of a beneficial to us, because when we go to a meeting or when we go somewhere we want to travel alone, or when we want to explore, but the main agenda for going to a conference or meeting is to exchange our ideas, talk with the people that are coming over there. So I guess we have to we have to keep that urge behind, and then go out as much as possible with our mentors or PI. In that time, I got to know that not only about the research or about their work, we got to talk about their social life. I mean, their life, regarding their family, their children, and all those things. So this is a kind of a chance, to learn what we might, come to know when we become researchers in futures. So I highly suggest, people to travel with the mentors or PI to get the most out of a conference. So then I would like to share my story regarding networking. So it was in the year around 2017 when my boss, Dr. Hirumi Yanagisawa, introduced me for an internship in AIST Tsukuba. So here you could see her and my mentor and one of my friend Goku. So I was about to only stay there for 2 months to do the internship, but during those 2 months, I did the research and we developed some kind of collaborations. And I ended up staying there, going back and forth in my laboratory for around until the end of this my SBP program. And I ended up working in this group, multicellular system regulation group, now as a postdoc. So the networking that I started as a an intern in SBP, give me the chance to work as a kind of a postdoctoral researcher in this group at AIST. So this was kind of my, story regarding networking. So I hope people might, other students or my juniors might also find kind of a good job or a good relations later on in their internship or in their field work. So my take-home message would be regarding the networking is very clear. So I would say that take every opportunities to start networking, starting from it can be a invited speaker in the laboratory or going to a conference or going to a meeting. And to me, I would suggest to go to a small meetings if you want to have a one-on-one talk with the people that or researchers that you are kind of interested in. And also, when we first started networking, it's kind of intimidating, and it's kind of we are kind of afraid to go to people, to big people. I mean, big fish, to go and talk with them. So for them, I would suggest, to be yourself, and then just introduce yourself and talk about your research and all those things. And if you are having fun, and if you are taking interest in these things, I guess there will be a fruitful networking process. So that's much it. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Can I comment?
Yes.
Yes.
Wow, you are way too serious. Give us a laugh.
Oh, really?
Way
Yes,
too
Sensei.
serious.
Okay, Sensei. I will try to be relaxed.
Okay. Yes, thank you very much, Lal, for the very scientifically structured presentation. And yeah, if anyone else wants to make some more comments or discussion, I think Lal is ready. If not,
Can you go next? Because my computer's battery is dying.
yes.
Totally.
Okay, so let's move to our next graduate and next presentation, which is Julie, with the title of How to Be Successful in PhD. Julie.
Okay. Hello, I'm Julie, and I was asked to share about my experience about how to be a successful in PhD. But actually, I just got it, so I don't know how to be successful in PhD yet. But I do have an experience about how to successful in study and getting a PhD. And as you know, that HBB only have 5 years, and we have so many tests to do, which is very crazy. And so my tip is that you need to be a good in time management in completing your study. So the point of time management, I think, is how you take a balance of time spending in work and on your life. So of course, I do spend a lot of time in my study, but I also take as much time as much possible to enjoy my life. For example, I like travel a lot. So, and let me introduce my work. Actually, I was very lucky that my neighboring laboratory from Yamagisawa Lab has equipment of 2-photon microscope and basic sleep recording system installed. So I can start my very novel project. Actually, this project is very novel that none of the members in my lab can have ever done, or not in the world of people have ever done. So it's very difficult at the beginning to set up everything. So I spent a lot of time testing many experiments, many methods that I can. And finally, as you can see in this video, this is a video taken by 2-photon microscope on brain capillary in mouse during wake and sleep. And I was success in using this 2-photon microscope in analyzing this brain capillary. Especially you can see that black dots flowing inside those capillary. Those are red blood cells. So I can analyze this blood flow in sleep in mice. And I was really grateful for a lot of help from my collaborators and my supervisor. Of course, I do spend a lot of time. I do work at nights or in weekends for this novel study. But I also took my chance in having a good life. So I took my chance like Golden Week, or like the chances when I go overseas laboratory rotations. I travel a lot. So we have very lucky to have first chance visiting Edinburgh in our first year. I think a lot of people do share the same experience and the trip with me. And also I took my time to spend 10 days in Iceland. And also I went to California twice and visited different places in the west coast of the United States. I also went to Korea for a trip, and also I visited Okinawa. And I also, 2 years ago, we also have a very happy wedding party in Taiwan. A lot of my lab-mates make it to come to Taiwan and celebrate together with us. So of course, if you want to achieve this, you have to be good in time management. So one my point is how to manage your time well during your study. I think first you have to be determined, and second you have to be very efficient in everything. So determined is that you have to, of course, when you start a project, there are so many tasks or experiments that you need to finish. So you have to determine in categorizing what works to do and what's not worth to do. And for me, this categorization depends on a lot of discussions with my supervisor or with my collaborators, and also do a lot of study to determine which should I try and what should I not to try, because it's not worth at all. And of course, in the worst to do parts, I do fail, and there's a lot that actually don't have an actual result after trying. But you still have to spend time to try, because you will never know if you do not try it. So to be determined, I think, is one of the key factors. And the second is you have to do everything very efficient. For example, in my experience, I expand my ability. So I happen to have a chance to learn about computer programming. So I kind of use it and apply in our lab's routine experimental protocol to kind of cut it short. So the analyzing time could be a lot shorter in my experiments. So I was lucky to publish a paper in the very last couple months of my study. And this paper actually is a very simple mouse sleep study. So it just measures the EEG and EMG, but you have to take a lot of time in analyzing this, the sleep data in 4-second interval, and each mouse will have 24 hours, and you have about more than 20 mouse to analyze. But I kind of take advantage of using computer programming to cut the time into weeks to finish all of the experiment and data analysis and publish it. So I really recommend that if you have chance, computer programming may be a good tool for you to consider how to do your work efficient. Yeah, so I hope that this time management experience can share with you and maybe can help in your study with especially the students in HBP. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, so yeah, very nice and inspiring presentation from Julie. And those times is what I wanted to, that what you said, to be listened not only from your seniors, your juniors, but also from others that they are outside of HBP to realize what HBP is like. So if anyone wants to ask or comment or conversate about Julie's presentation, please go ahead.
Okay, I'm Satoru. Congratulations. I have one question.
Okay.
How did you make the time to meet Eric?
Oh!
The signal like that.
Yeah.
How did you have time to meet Eric?
We meet 24 hours every day. If no, I don't want to meet that long.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Daigaji Sensei. Okay. So now we can move on to Eric, since his name is brought up. And with the presentation of self-growth.
Okay, can you hear me? Okay, so I'm Eric. So as you know, I spent 7 years to graduate from HBP. It's really a tough program. And as Julie said, the time management is very, very important. So I am the one that has very bad management of time. So that's definitely is one of the reasons that I spend much time that cannot fulfill my major goal to graduate. Yeah. But here I would like to share another aspect. So today my topic is about self-growth. Yeah. So as you can see here is a blank page. I intentionally left blank. So in the end of this talk, I hope you can get what I want to say, and you can fill in anything like title or anything else you want on this page. So actually today I would like to share only one story about my experience in about changing a field. So before I came to Tsukuba for studying PhD program, I finished my master course in Taiwan. When I was an undergraduate and master student, I had a chance to stay in a laboratory studying cancer biology. After I came to Tsukuba, I decided to study neuroscience for my PhD thesis. In in the cancer biology field, we often want to know the function of a protein in a cell type. So here, the main strategy to study this is to use a FLUX mouse line. So here I show the gene, for example. The top 2B is a gene of interest. And we cross this mouse with a cell type specific mouse line to delete the gene in a specific cell type. So here shows the K14 as an example. So the knockout mice generated here in the bottom will be used for studying the function of the protein. So later I changed to neuroscience field. In neuroscience field, we often want to know the function of a neuron. The main strategy here is to use a cell type specific mouse line and inject AAV into the brain. In this AAV, it carries a DNA sequence of blank LUX receptor gene. And then the virus will infect neurons and express the receptor as shown in this neuron, on this neuron. And we can activate the receptor. It will result in activating the neurons. And then the function of this neuron can be studied. So as you can see, both of these strategies essentially use the same LUXP and CRE system, but with a little bit variation. However, it took me a while to understand the neuroscience strategy. Moreover, when I talked to my friends, previous also studying cancer biology, I also found less difficult to let my friends understand the neuroscience strategy. So why? As you can see here, same LUXP, same CRE, and same genetic concepts. So why it's so difficult? Why it makes people from the cancer biology field so difficult to understand the neuroscience strategy? So it has took me some time to wonder about it. Later, I realized that it could be caused by different focuses and different ways of thinking in different fields. Bearing this experience in mind, every time when I learn something from unfamiliar field, such as reading a paper or listening to a talk, I will expect there must be something different from what I'm thinking right now. And I will manage to catch the difference and learn it. More important, it's very fun. Finally, I would like to cite a sentence from Steve Jobs. As he said in his well-known 2005 speech, "Stay hungry, stay foolish." That's all. Thank you very much.
Okay, so that was a very, again, scientifically, but very deep and with a lot of meaning presentation from Eric. If someone wants to give a comment or discussion. I think, yeah, what he said, and especially the last message, it needs to be discussed with some detail to be more fruitful. Okay, excellent. So next one, last but not least, Sakura will present the presentation with title Abroad Activities. Sakura, are you ready?
Yeah, give me a sec. Let me see. There we go. So, yeah, good evening, everyone. I'm so sorry I couldn't be there. Yeah, both of my kids are here, so it's a little bit difficult to leave. All right, so activities abroad. the NASA's actually messaged me telling me that they made this title for me. So I took it. And so here goes what I've done. Oh, Damon, on the side, please. All right. So this is the world map, as you all know. And the ones in blue, the ones in grayish blue are the countries I went to during the program that are related to HPP. All right, so we'll start with the US. I went there in 2015 and 2016. The first time was to learn microscopy, so 2-photon and whatnot. And then the second time was to learn programming, mostly in systems biology. So that was MATLAB and also Mathematica. So these are a bunch of photos that I took during the program. And basically what this tells you is, so there's a programming part, this picture and this picture, but most of the pictures are actually going outside. And as you can see, although the course was tough, both courses were tough, there was actually a lot of fun going there. We were able to go outside on the weekends and also weeknights. So it was a really fun trip and also a very meaningful one. I would say lucrative because right now my job is actually related to programming. So that was a pretty good, those were pretty good trips. And then next, I'm gonna talk about the UK. I went there 3 times during the program. The first time was to learn more about EEG. During that time, it was human EEG, although throughout my PhD program, I was doing on mouse. It was a good experience to learn more about the human EEG. And that was in King College, London. And unfortunately, this was the only photo I took during that time. But yeah, we learned a lot about how to put a cap on, how many electrodes and how important the electrodes are, the number of the electrodes, the positioning, and like if you have a disease, if you have a disorder, how different your EEG would be from a normal person and whatnot. And then there's the research internship in Oxford. Oh, this came later, but okay, so during that time, it was a 6-month period. And I actually went with my family. I was lucky enough to have a very supportive husband who came with me so I can be with my child. And so this was one photo I took and this is another. And I do agree with the people who talked before me. Time management is important. Also, you know, networking, all of those I was able to apply. And as well as being able to explain what your field is to other people, especially if they're not in the same field. And yeah, that was my time there in the beginning. It felt like it was really difficult for me to just understand what was happening. But later on, I realized that it wasn't as tough. It was just the steeping, the learn curve was a little bit steep. But after that, it was great. It was great. It was really fun. And then oh, sorry, I forgot the Edinburgh trip. Also, the Edinburgh trip was really good. We were able to learn more about how to present to others, and also we were able to talk to other students from the university itself. And I thought that was also really good. And we were able to even go to a talk about Parkinson's. And that was really interesting as well. And then we go to the Philippines. So this was a trip to the Philippines to help raising awareness of the disease, dengue. And it's not because people were not aware that the disease exists, it's how to actually manage it. And the Philippines you know, being close to the equator, it's a really hot place. It's a great breeding ground for mosquitoes. And so there's dengue all year round. And there were a lot of people who really benefited from the program itself. There were more than 400 students who came. There were more than 100 citizens, just villagers, who came to learn how to manage, how to prevent dengue, how to get better when you do get dengue, and also what you can do to really to just protect yourself from it, and to prevent the infestation. So it's not just preventing the disease, but also preventing the infestation. And we went to a lot of different places. We went to the University of the Philippines, Las Bañas. We went there to learn about this, Damon? We went there to learn about a startup where they were trying to understand how to tell if a mosquito is a carrier or not. I mean, I don't know if that would be a lucrative business and whatnot, but that was what they were doing. And then for the Babuyan village, it was a talk, well, several talks for people to learn about dengue. And then we also went to WHO, among other places. And this is to learn about how the World Health Organization sees the disease, how they're managing it, and what they think we should do as people, you know, as concerned citizens, on how to educate others. And then Australia. So Australia, I was able to go thanks to HBP and also TCredo. TCredo is part of the university hospital, and they supported me in going. They paid for my ticket. Oh no, they paid for my program and for the course, and the travel grant covered for the tickets. And what it was about is learning how to translate your research, or, you know, ideas that you have in your mind that are more medically inclined, and how to turn that into something more lucrative. And that was a really good experience. It was only 2 weeks, but it was really tough. It felt like I didn't really sleep, not only because we were working hard in the presentations, but also we were drinking a lot. It was a really fun place. And it was a very diverse group. So some of them are medical doctors who's been in the field for 10 years. Some of them are PhD students like me. And some of them were workers. Like some of them were actually in the field, were in companies and whatnot. And they all joined to be able to learn how to translate your ideas, well, medically inclined ideas, into something that could be of business type. And lastly, Japan. So technically this is not activities abroad, but it's just something that I put in, because I think the things that we've done abroad is just as good as the ones that I've done in Japan. And some of them were a trip to Nagoya. So I presented about how to be a world science leader, and fortunately got awards for that. And also we went to Hyper Interdisciplinary Conference in Tokyo. And during that time, we got really fortunate to get a grant for the side research we were doing. And lastly, Tsukuba Conference, which was within Tsukuba, but it was very international. And I presented a poster for that one. And there we go, an acknowledgement. So I wouldn't be able to complete my PhD without Professor Hayashi and Professor Bufa, who was the one who took me in for my international lab rotation. And also for Sakaguchi Sensei, Professor Sakaguchi, for taking me in for the last 6 months to be my professor. And then Irie Sensei, Professor Irie, for all the travel grants, and also for appropriate technology. And of course, Sigma Office, and lastly, the Travel Grant Committee, which also includes Luria Sensei. And lastly, I just wanted to say this quote: traveling, it leaves you speechless, then turns you into a storyteller. Thank you. So that's everything.
Another fantastic presentation, multi-perspective with a lot of stories to tell. Sakura now moved from HBP, and yeah, I bet she has a lot of stories. Thank you very much. And if anyone wants to make a comment or to say something.
Can we look at your baby?
Yes, actually. Oh.
Oh. How old?
He's 1 month.
1 month, just 1 month?
Just 1 month.
Oh, big.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, everyone says so. He was born big, so.
Great.
Damon, you want to say hi? Damon, you want to say hi? Damon's been asking if he can show himself too.
Yeah,
so.
you have already 2 babies.
Yeah.
They're very productive.
Very reproductive, yeah. Yes.
Yeah, hopefully it will be the new generation of HBP. Okay, so now we have some time for previous graduate that unfortunately we missed their graduation because of the situation of the pandemic. And we may start with okay, actually Iris is here. So, okay, let's give the gifts for the graduates first, and then we can go to the previous graduates.
So, congratulations. Yeah. Okay, so the congratulations. Congratulations.
Thank you.
This was Sakura.
Yeah. Oh, this was Sakura.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
That was nice and a little bit, yeah, different from the previous graduation parties. So now we have a small time for the message of the previous students. As I said, they unfortunately skipped their graduation party. So we have a couple of them, not many. They will come and say just a sentence, a word, a message for their juniors. And then we can move on to the closing remarks. But let's start with Manoj.
Yeah, so thank you everyone. Just I want to say that the HBP is very well organized program and it should continue. And even though like we had a lot of complaint about HBP and many problems, but still I will say that even those all these things, the HBP is very good, and because of HBP we could progress, and now like we have many opportunity for the future. And thank you.
Thank you, Manoj. And the next speaker will be Chan. He messaged me and he told me that he made a video. So Chan is very good at making videos. So I hope everyone will enjoy. Chan, you're ready?
Okay. Can you see?
Yes. Can you try to make it full screen?
Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
It's a female.
I'm yeah, I'm happy to be this party today, and actually I'm the oldest HBP student in today here. I started my HBP spring 2013, and these, as you can see in this picture, these are my friend 2013 spring semester student, and all of them now graduated, and I graduated in this year. So I was late 2 years, like similar with Eric, but for those 7 years, I learned many things, science as well as life as a human. So all excellent student today showed presentation, and it was really nice. And I expected that many students will give us such a nice presentation today. So instead of that presentation, I prepared the presentation. I prepared the video. This is one of the story in my life for additional 2 years, and it was emotional video. So I hope that you can enjoy this video. Thank you.
Where are these cars going now? Probably they are going to their destinations. How are these drivers feeling here? My destination today is my laboratory, Department of Experimental Pathology, University of Tsukuba. This is the road heading to the laboratory since 2014. Under the rain, under the snow, and under the typhoon. This road was never changed. And the purpose of this journey until 2018 was also never changed. It was PhD. I was not interested in anything around me. I only concentrated on my business. 2019, when I postponed my graduation second time, the purpose of this journey was changed. It was not PhD degree anymore. There was my oncology project, what I loved, and there were my laboratory members who I loved. Professor Michele Scotto, who supervised me, and friends who did teach me, friends who I teach, and friends who work together with me. It was too late to realize this relationship, which cannot exist without love. So I love them more eagerly. We will finally go back to the soil on the ground. Are you ready to go back to the soil right now? At least, I wanted to be ready to say this. I love my studies with science. I love my friends. I love my professors and teachers. And I love my family who fully supported me. Somehow, academics and science may become obsolete in the future. but the love remains inhuman forever. Because there are my friends who I love, I came to the lab now. Linda, how was my love?
It's nice.
How was my love?
How was your love?
How was my love? How was my love?
You are very good friend and you are honest and cordial. And you also support in my lecturing works and my personal life and my family life. Actually, you are my best friend in Japan, in my laboratory and also my personal life. And I am happy to be with you. Thank you.
Finally, I go to United States as a postdoc. New family members are waiting for me, and I will fall in love with them. I will miss my laboratory family here. I'm 2 years behind my friend, but I thank God for that I was late for 2 years, because I could learn love, and I could love them. Now, I can say, 本当に良かったです。I am very happy. I wish that all students, officers, and professors in human biology PhD program are fully in love forever. Thank you.
One of the most touching videos I have ever seen in general, not only in HVP. I think Irie Sensei, you need to consider Chan for promoting HVP. He has very nice skills, and what he did now, it's fantastic. Thank you, Chan.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
Chan, thank you very much. So did you use a drone the last thing? Very nice. It's good.
Thank you very much. And I would like to really appreciate for especially Professor Atsushi Kawaguchi sensei and Kazuko Shibuya sensei and Yuji Funakoshi sensei for my graduation thesis evaluation. It was really helpful. And thank you very much for everybody.
Thank you, Chan. And as my senpai, you will be missed. Okay, so we eventually reach the end of the program, at least, not the party. And we would like to call few senseis to have a closing remark. And I would like, really humbling, asking the two senseis of our graduates to have a small sentence, a small message to everyone. We can start with Professor Hiromi Yanagisawa. Is that okay?
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. I always feel so overwhelmed every year I attended this graduation party and see how each one of you worked hard for this moment, PhD. And actually, I have another PhD. I graduated today. Yeah. So here is Shin. He graduated today. So. Yeah, so anyway, I am so proud of my students, and also thank you so much for everyone who helped, Lal and other graduates. I'm really, really happy for you, and I wish you the best for your next journey. Thank you.
Thank you, Sensei. Okay, thank you, Sensei, for your nice message. Now, if possible, Professor Yu Hayashi, if he can deliver a small message.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
So yeah, I really like to congratulate the four graduates, and I think all people who get a PhD should be proud of themselves, but especially HPP students should be very proud because it's such a tough program. So I think you should really be proud of yourselves, and for Eric and Julie and Sakura, those three joined my lab when the lab was still very in the early stage and very small. And now I really appreciate that the three members kind of created the mainstreams of our projects. That is REM Sleep Center and REM Sleep Blood Flow and Alzheimer's disease. So you three really created the important major streams of our lab. So I really appreciate it too. And I really enjoyed how the three of you really worked on yourselves to develop these important streams. Yeah, thank you so much. Congratulations again.
So, Ire Sensei, if you can deliver the closing remark now, if it's possible, and then we can have a group photo.
Actually, so we should have some message from the Shibuya Sensei because he has been the program leader a long time, right?
All right, thank you. Thank you for inviting me. But anyway, congratulations. I'm very happy and very proud of all of you. And you know, the graduate from HBP are very high activity all over the world. Today, you know that Kota Nizuma, he is working at Stanford University and a famous YouTuber right now. But also he's of course, he's working with science, and he just told me today that he got succeeded in the application of the second Kaigai Gakushi, you know, JSPS fellowship for in the scientists from Japan at overseas. So yeah, anyway, most graduates are very active all over the world, of course in Japan. So I hope you, all of you, are the followers of your senpai. Okay? Yeah, anyway, congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you, Sensei, for your message to all the new students. And now we may have the group photo. Let's just gather everyone. You guys, let's have a quick photo. Okay. All right, 3, 2, 1, cheese. Nice, nice. Okay. All right, excellent. Thank you very much. Thank you.